Hello and happy February. We are now in the second month of the year, if you were not aware. That means January is over. I hope you have stuck to all of your goals and your resolutions. If you did fall off, it's not too late to get back on. But I want to show you how we ate for the month of January. My last video was all about veggie-filled recipes, and I decided to continue it to help you add more vegetables into your diet as well. Believe it or not, we actually lost weight by eating these delicious meals and not having to deprive ourselves at all. So stick around for some of these easy to follow recipes. So as I've stated before, I really hate wasting food. I make sure to use everything that I possibly can. So I'm taking these veggie scraps from the fridge, chopping them into really big pieces, and then I'm going to throw them on my favorite grill pan for a very simple yet delicious lunch. I made sure to coat everything with a little bit of olive oil and season it all up really well. And then I'm going to use those tomatoes to season my black beans that I'll be serving on the side of these veggies. I just used canned black beans and I added in the tomatoes seasoned with a little bit of salt and pepper. And here I have everything grilling. Super simple. I love the taste of grilled veggies. And look at these beautiful grill lines. How much prettier can this get? Once my beans were done cooking, I smashed it all together with the tomatoes to make some refried black beans. And that is really all that there was to it. I added some vegan feta cheese on top and I served it with some toasted pita bread. For this dinner, I wanted to make a lemon butter sauce with some pasta and veggies. This was another very simple dish, but it was very tasty. I started by boiling the noodles. I popped the sweet peas into the microwave while I got all of this ready. I thinly sliced my onion, green pepper, and jalapenos. And then the last few minutes of cooking the pasta, I added in the peas. You want to start cooking down those veggies. And then add in the butter, nutritional yeast, and any seasonings you'd like. And then I tossed it all together with some pasta water and the juice of one whole lemon. So simple, but very effective, and it was so delicious. We topped it off with some garlic chili oil, and this lasted us a couple of days. For this meal, I really originally just wanted to roast a bunch of veggies in a pan, and then I decided why not add some jackfruit to the dish. I cut some cabbage steaks, which means I just cut some really big pieces of the cabbage. I laid it down on the pan first, and then I just put all the veggies on top of it. And then I added in the jackfruit, garlic, and onion, and some big chunks. I did squeeze out the excess water from the jackfruit because I wanted to make sure it absorbed all the flavoring from this sauce I made. So here are the ingredients. I did use veggie broth, and then I added all of this in. I didn't measure any of it, but I will say 2 tablespoons of the cornstarch was perfect to thicken the sauce. You really want to make sure you have that cornstarch. And then those were all the seasonings I used prior to pouring the sauce over the veggies. Make sure to season it really well because this is a lot of food. This is the sauce that's going to bring everything together. Just pour it on top of everything evenly. I did reserve a little bit so that I could pour on top halfway through its cooking. I did put foil on top of this, put it in a 375-degree oven for about 45 minutes to 1 hour, and there it is. It was very good, and I topped it with some breadcrumbs at the end, so it ended up being like a jackfruit pot roast unintentionally. Again, this one lasted us about 3 days, so it was perfect for some meal prep. For this lunch, I've been dying to try this recipe. I finally got around to making this cheese sauce by High Carb Hannah. I will leave a link here for you. I am also going to do a recipe review on this cheese sauce, so stay tuned for that. This is her potato hash recipe. I did add some extra veggies to it. I had to use these tomatoes, obviously, so I threw those in. But this was a great dish. It lasted us a couple of days, and we are fans. I'll definitely be making this a lot more often. This is everything put together before putting it in the oven. This isn't my recipe, so like I said, I will link it. And I did make sure to keep some of that cheese sauce on hand to use again. I cut this into 4 servings, so it lasted us 2 days. This was lunch for 2 days, which made it very easy the next day to just warm up, and it was just as good. Okay, so this meal was an unexpected hit. It was one of those days I didn't really feel like cooking, and it ended up just being this amazing masterpiece. So I started off with some yellow squash and sweet peppers, cooked those down a little bit, and then I added some tofu crumbled into that pan. Season it really well. I used some black garlic, nutritional yeast, and a bunch of other stuff. I love seasoning my food. I added kale at the very end, and look at what I do with this tofu crumble. I have some pickled onion, avocado, cucumber, tomato, and some cabbage. Can you guess what is coming next? You want to heat up some tortillas and assemble your tofu veggie tacos. These were so good. I could eat these every day. They were amazing. They were so filling. And it's all mostly veggies, so what more could you ask for? I topped it with the vegan feta salsa, and then I had a side salad with the vegan Caesar dressing. So this soup, again, is not my recipe. I won't go into it too much, but I will link it here for you. This is from Rainbow Plant Life. I'm a huge fan. Anything I make of hers is just magic, and I highly, highly recommend this soup. I just wanted to share it all with you guys to see how it all comes together. I don't think I've ever made a more delicious soup myself. You have to try this. I did add a little too much red pepper, but it was actually perfect in the end. This is what the soup looks like. It looks so simple, I'm telling you. When you look at the recipe, you're like, all right, white bean and kale soup, no biggie. But once you try it, I'm like, you will be hooked. And then I learned so much from her. I learned this little trick to top your soup with all this fragrant deliciousness at the end. You gotta try it, don't skip that part. So this is the soup, half pureed. And then I'm going to mix it all together with the kale at the end. Wait till you see how beautifully this all comes together once you serve it. Yum. This was amazing. I wish you could just smell it and taste it for yourself. This was 10 out of 10. And since I've been cooking so much, these tofu veggie sandwiches saved the day a lot of the time with some gluten-free bread. We did have this again because I'm telling you, it was that good. We enjoyed it. It was easy. This time I topped it with arugula and some pickled jalapeno, onion, carrots, and salsa. Can't forget the avocado. And I'm pretty sure we had it for dinner that night because why not? It was already made. And again, I did a lot of cooking this month, so any break I could take, I took. We're gonna get into some more veggie pasta. Here I have garlic, shallots, and green beans, sauteing in a little bit of olive oil. My goal this month was also to reduce a lot of oil that I use usually when cooking. And then I topped the veggies with this vegan pesto sauce from Trader Joe's. I have my spinach, linguine, and some pasta water in there, and I'm gonna mix it all up. And then I topped it with some vegan spinach homemade ricotta cheese. Mixed that all together. Wasn't a pretty dish, but it was pretty delicious. And then I served it on top of a bed of arugula just to add more greens into our day. This was another easy lunch idea. I just put a sweet potato in the microwave, mashed it up, and then made a veggie wrap with some pita bread. This was some stuffed peppers I made. Nothing too fancy, but they were good. And this was the filling for the peppers. That lasted us a couple days as well. And then these tostadas were so good. I think these are gonna come into the menu like once a week now. I pickled some cabbage, jalapeno, cucumber, and red onion with some lemon and salt. And then I put some corn tortillas in the oven until they were pretty crispy. I topped it with some refried beans. And then I put my cabbage, jalapeno, onion, cucumbers on top with a quarter of an avocado on each one. And of course you have to add your hot sauce and salsa. So spicy, so good, and it was very filling. And I love that the tostada shells were not fried. This is going to be a weekly thing for us, for sure. And here, it was the weekend, so I wanted to make one of my favorite breakfasts for us. If you know me, you know that I make this pretty often. I mean, I definitely make this at least a couple times a week. It's just a potato hash, and I try to add any vegetables that I can. I have onion and peppers in here. I usually try to top it with a lot of greens. Just really, this is a good dish that if you have a lot of veggie scraps, add them in, and then crumble some tofu in there. And it's like eggs and potatoes, but vegan version. Here I am adding in my spinach. Just makes it so easy to add greens into your day. And I had to serve it with a tostada so I could make sure I used up all the ingredients and nothing went to waste. Worth it, so good. This was definitely a filling breakfast, but it was the weekend, so we enjoyed ourselves. And to end the month, I used this cauliflower crust from Trader Joe's, topped it with the rest of my vegan ricotta cheese, Brussels sprouts, mushroom, shallots, garlic, walnuts, garlic chili oil, and of course, arugula to finish. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe for more veggie-filled meals. Take care.